No dialogue.
If you still think XRP is just about cross-border payments, you are perfectly positioned to miss the single biggest value driver in its entire history. Seriously, the story you've been told is about to become a tiny footnote. And here's the twist that most people are missing. The race to bring the world's largest market, the $1 quadrillion derivatives market on-chain, isn't just starting. It's secretly being won right now, and the groundwork is already in place.
So how is Ripple doing this, right under everyone's nose? Well, by the end of this explainer, you're going to understand the exact strategic chess moves that are putting XRP smack in the middle of this once-in-a-generation financial shift. Let's get into it.
First things first, what is this massive catalyst we're talking about? It's simple, really. It's the inevitable move of the entire global derivatives market onto the blockchain. And why would they do that? Because it solves huge old-school problems with settlement, with collateral, and with transparency. This isn't just another catalyst for XRP, this is the catalyst.
Now, just to really let the scale of this sink in, you have to understand what we're dealing with here. The derivatives market isn't just big, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. We're talking about financial contracts with a value, a notional value, somewhere between $600 trillion and over $1 quadrillion. That's the prize everyone's chasing.
Okay, so how does Ripple even begin to tap into something that massive? Well, it all starts with their first major play, getting a regulated foothold right here in the United States. And they did it through a really clever strategic move with an exchange you need to know about, called Bitnomial. And look, this wasn't some casual handshake deal. This was a deliberate three-stage takedown. First, Ripple comes in and leads a huge funding round. Next, their CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, takes a seat right on the board, to help steer the ship. And then, the final move, direct integration. Bitnomial becomes the very first place to use Ripple's brand new stablecoin, RLUSD, as collateral.
And this just lays the strategy out perfectly. Bitnomial is regulated by the CFTC, which gives Ripple a squeaky clean, compliant way into the US market. It lets traders use both RUSD and XRP to back regulated futures and options. See, this isn't about speculation anymore. This is about regulated, real-world utility.
Now, let's move to the second piece of the puzzle, because this is where it gets really interesting. If Bitnomial was the front door into the regulated market, then the acquisition of a company called Hidden Road is the high-performance engine. This is what's built to handle massive institutional-scale money. And the numbers, they're just insane. Hidden Road, which is now being rebranded as Ripple Prime, clears about $3 trillion in volume every year. This is not some little startup. This is a global prime brokerage powerhouse. It gives Ripple instant street cred and the ability to handle huge volumes from day one.
What this acquisition really does is it gives Ripple an immediate presence in every major institutional playground. We're talking foreign exchange, digital assets, derivatives, swaps, all of it. For their big clients, the hedge funds and asset managers, this makes them a one-stop shop. It makes using RUSD and XRP for collateral just easy. It becomes the path of least resistance.
So let's just step back for a second and see what's really happening. We are watching XRP evolve right before our eyes. It's shifting from that old story about retail payments and speculation to a hardcore institutional use case as the backbone for collateral, settlement, and prime services. It's a whole new ballgame. This is a pretty massive shift in strategy, and it's happening right now. Look, if you appreciate this kind of deep dive analysis from us here at Crypto Global News, and you want to stay ahead of the game, do us a favor and support the channel. Just take a second to like, share, and subscribe, and definitely hit that bell icon to get regular updates. It honestly makes a huge difference. Okay, but to get all that institutional money flowing, you need one more crucial piece: deep, easy-to-access liquidity. And that brings us to our third pillar, the global gateway, which is anchored by Robinhood's recent acquisition of Bitstamp. So why is Bitstamp so important here? Well, check this out. The exchange holds more XRP than any other altcoin. We're talking over 912 million of them. Now, that's not just a fun fact. It makes Bitstamp the single deepest pool of XRP liquidity out there. It's the essential on-ramp for any big institution looking to make a move. And then you hear from the new owner, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev, who is just incredibly bullish on tokenizing everything. When he says something like, "People will never go back," that signals a very clear vision for the future. It's not hard to imagine Bitstamp becoming a major hub for all sorts of new derivative products built on XRP.
So we've got the regulated entry point, we've got the institutional engine, and we've got the liquidity gateway. Okay, now it's time to connect all the dots and see the full grand plan snap into focus.
And this right here, this is where it all just clicks into place. The timing is unbelievable. In September of 2025, the CFTC, the main regulator, starts asking for feedback on using tokenized assets as collateral. You can't make this up. It's a huge regulatory green light, a tailwind blowing right at Ripple's back, perfectly timed with their RLUSD launch and these big deals.
So when you boil it all down, what you're looking at is a brilliantly executed 4-step master plan. Step 1, secure that regulated way in. Step 2, buy the institutional engine. Step 3, lock down the deepest liquidity pool. And Step 4, drive all the utility through XRP and RLUSD.
And what's the end result of all this? It's a complete redefinition of what gives XRP its value. As those trillions of dollars start to move on-chain, XRP's price is going to be driven less and less by retail hype and more by its actual job inside this new financial plumbing.
Which really leaves us with just one final question to think about. For years, we've watched XRP's price get pushed around by speculation and lawsuits. So the question now is, are we finally about to see its value be defined by what it actually does, by its undeniable institutional utility?
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.